Hi, I'm Meteorologist Chris Tomer. Let's talk about mountain weather and ski conditions. And there are two different storm systems to talk about. The first one already happening. I'll go right into the analysis here. Radar and satellite. So we've got snow running up through southern Utah and into Colorado, where the southern mountains of Colorado are going to get hit very hard. Wolf Creek is a great place to be over the next 24 to 36 hours. Telluride, Silverton, all of those areas in the San Juans. And down into southern Utah as well, if you want to go skiing down in that area. And that storm is going to move away. And what it will do is create a vacuum, and there will be a second storm that comes out of the Pacific Northwest and dives in kind of as we head towards New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So let's talk about the jet stream. This really gives us an idea of where the actual lows are and what the winds are going to do and how the orographics are going to play out. And you can see that puts southern Colorado into a real sweet spot for a lot of orographic production. So run this out, we'll stop it. You can see by the time we get into tomorrow evening, the low, look how far down that low digs. And that's going to be moving through and out. Notice this next low. This is the one I was talking about, the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day storm. That will come up over the top and then roll into the Intermountain West. I'll show you that here. You can see the dip coming into the West Coast. There it is. This is actually New Year's Eve, and the low is right here. That is the storm that will provide some new powder for the Intermountain West as we slide into New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And then by the time we get into New Year's Day on the clock, you can see we've got a really big dip in the jet rolling through parts of Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado. All right, here's our future radar. This is a real great product. You can kind of see where the snow is going to be in time. Okay, so by tomorrow morning, still snowing in Colorado, still some snow over the high Uintas of Utah, but really it has come to an end up in Wyoming. The whole thing then will be moving away. So then we'll refocus, we'll get a break, and this is on Wednesday morning. Here comes the next low. You can see the spin right here, pushing snow down into the top of the Sierra, in through Schweitzer and Sun Valley, heading into the Wasatch Front, and also blowing into the Tetons as well. And then that kind of breaks up and moves out by the time we end up with New Year's Day. So how much are we talking about? Well, we'll do this in a couple of different phases right here. I'll run the clock, and this will take us into tomorrow morning. It is definitely going to be a powder day over most of Colorado. Looking at some great snow through the southern mountains, even across the extreme western slope around Aspen, Snowmass, and Crested Butte, up around Steamboat and Buff Pass. It should be pretty good as well. So then that storm exits, and here comes the next one. You can already start to see the numbers ticking up in the Pacific Northwest. By the time we get into New Year's Eve morning, so this is Thursday morning, look at the big numbers up there in the Pacific Northwest. Look at Schweitzer. That's going to be a good place to be as well on New Year's Eve and also on New Year's Day. Totals by Friday morning, so we've added a bit to the Tetons, the Wasatch, and we've added a bit into Colorado. But look at the backside here. We've got some nice totals from Revelstoke down into Schweitzer. Some good powder there, and of course a couple of feet up there in the Pacific Northwest. All right, have a great rest of this week, and New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, I'll probably do another update as well because we've got some great powder days ahead. Take care.